3, 2, 1.
What I learned of the UFC current champs is the 4 layers of fight. And when you could lay the 4 layers one upon another, then you're really going to become dangerous. And this works for any martial art. As much as I love the complexity of capoeira, when simplifying it, it's actually made out of 2 different disciplines, fighting and dancing. They do actually have a lot of similarities. My love for martial arts gets me watching hours on hours of different fighting techniques. Now, after analyzing countless martial artists, some were more proficient at striking, other at takedowns, I can honestly say that I've noticed a hidden potential. So I took upon myself a new challenge, determined to come up with a method that will revolutionize my game. If all you take away from this video is the next thing, the unpredictability layer, faking attacks, you'll significantly improve your chances of winning fights. The main idea is getting your partner to react, but what might happen often is your opponent stopping in a static position, waiting for your attack to reach him so he can react accordingly. At that moment, you get an advantage because you haven't fully executed your attack. Now you can reposition yourself where you'll have a better angle to attack next. Now, through watching tons of UFC fights combined with more than 2 decades of experience I have in capoeira, I was finally able to give back to all of you guys for all the support and growth that came recently. I put together a completely free guide on the key elements from capoeira that can almost instantly improve your game in every martial art. I will personally email it to you. All you need to do is click the link below and you'll get your guide. In capoeira, we have 4 basic round kicks: miolo de frente, armada, queixada, and miolo de compasso.
In order to fake these kicks, I need to start as if I'm going to kick and then maybe lift my leg just a bit off the floor. So as if I'm going to kick miolo de frente, then my leg slides a little bit on the floor and then I go back into my basic stance. So actually it's the hands and the waist that will get your opponent convinced that you're about to kick. Let's look at armada. I start with this step, turn, and then I go back without lifting my leg off the floor. I can even slide my foot a little bit off the floor, on the floor. If I'm really good at convincing my partner of my momentum, of me generating momentum into a kick, I don't need to twist. Watch my hands. Next is miolo de compasso. I step and come back. And lastly is queixada. Another thing you can use is your eyes. As if you're tracking your leg that's about to come up, you're looking at where you're aiming. That will make your opponent think you're going to go there. It's also commonly used in basketball when the player looks to one side, then he passes to the other side.
The idea behind the heights layer is that your partner knows instinctively when you are at different heights, you have the potential to attack different parts of his body. And you can use that to your advantage, for example, threatening his foot but actually striking his face, or faking an attack towards his body and then sweeping his foot without him noticing what is the attack that you're actually going to commit to. Threatening to strike his face will get his guard up and then will open the body for a takedown or another attack. In capoeira we have 3 different levels: ground level, base level, and stand up. The simple way I can change the levels is going down, placing my hands behind me, one hand by the other in a rotational manner. Another way we change levels in capoeira is by going on our hands. I've discovered that this kind of level changes very often ruin the opponent's attack plan. So try incorporating this into your game. But what might be even more impactful is the next layer, distance.
So I can use the cartwheel in order to go back, or I can use the back step, getting back forwards, either with a step or with a jump. The cartwheel can also be used for the next layer, which is angles. So let's say I'm starting over here, I can go 180 using the cartwheel, getting to my opponent's back. Or I can use the shuffle for 90 degrees, for a 90 degrees change, for a 90 degrees movement. Now incorporating all of these layers into a training method very common in boxing called shadow boxing, where you imagine as if there's an opponent in front of you, position yourself in a fighting stance, in capoeira called the ginga, and you move around him using the angles, distances, and height, faking attacks and attacking.
If you still doubt that capoeira can help immensely all sorts of fighters,
I study capoeira.
watch Joe Rogan and one of UFC's top 3 fighters discuss does capoeira work for MMA.
That shit works. Yeah.